G'day. Just wanted to come back on here and speak to you about a quite a vivid dream that I had recently. Actually, one of the most vivid dreams I can remember having. And I've actually had been praying recently about having a rapture dream. So I wanted to see, what it was going to be like to be raptured. Those of you who've heard about the concept of the rapture believe that it ties in with the end times, that at some stage, I think it's prior to the return of Christ, the church or the Christian community that are still alive at the time when this happens, and those that are in the grave apparently will be taken up to heaven in this kind of twinkling of an eye type of moment. It's referred to as the rapture. Anyhow, there's a lot of theological debate about when it will happen in terms of the end times and the tribulation, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to give you this dream that I had just recently, which was an unusual one as far as rapture dreams go, but maybe it's just the peculiarities of my own personality that kind of play out. And the only way I can see this dream, because it was an extremely vivid dream, and looking back on it in hindsight, there's only one other interpretation I could give it, and it kind of doesn't quite make sense. So I'll tell you what the dream was and what happened, and interpret it for yourself. So anyhow, in the dream, basically, I'm aware of the fact that I'm in a car. From pretty much the outset of the dream, I'm in a car, but I'm not actually driving the car, which is very unusual straight away. So I'm in a car, but I'm not driving it. So I'm presumably in the back seat of the car, something like that. But all of a sudden, I'm aware that the car is accelerating, just starts to accelerate, and does it accelerate like wheels spinning type of acceleration, and just takes off, under some sort of automatic control, like a Tesla car or something, and I'm thinking, what is going on here? Am I being sort of like abducted or something, or is somebody playing a game with me? Have I ended up in one of those cars that gets hacked by hackers and it's under some idiot's control? Either I've been abducted or I'm in a car that's been hacked and is now under the control of some maniac, But so I'm looking around, trying to work out what's going on, am I trapped in here? What's the situation like? As this car is speeding now, doing an incredible speed down some roads, and I'm thinking, I'm not really aware of where the car is headed exactly, because I can't really see out the front of the car to that extent. I was able to look to my left and look out of a window, and I noticed scenery going past quite rapidly, and at one point I saw a bridge structure, one of those sort of iron bridges with crisscross kind of iron beams, like a railway bridge or something like that, maybe, I don't know. And anyhow, we were or a road bridge, obviously, if we're driving a car, but it reminded me of one of those old railway bridges with the metal crisscross kind of design, didn't have an arch. It was a flat sort of structured bridge. So, I remembered things in fairly good detail, or it was vivid and had detail that I could sort of, conceptualize in my mind as it was happening. So I looked and saw this railway bridge flashing past. Okay, so we're going over a bridge. I was trying to get an idea of where the car's going, where's it headed, where are they taking me, sort of thing. And then I noticed that I seemed to be surrounded by padding, like crash padding, sort of looked like white foam, something like that. It was packed around me. I was able to look into the front of the car, and I noticed there was like white foam seemed to be packed in and coming out of the glove box of the car. And there was just this white foam stuff packed all around the place. I thought, wow, it's like, okay, preparing for extreme safety measures here. Like the car's full of white foam packing, and am I trapped in? Am I sort of packed in here? I felt like I might have been trapped in by this packing foam. And then, actually, after I had the dream, I've thought back about that white foam that I saw, and I'm not sure actually that it was white foam. It may have just been symbolic of something else that was in the car with me. So, and I'll tell you why when I come to the end of it. So, I looked into the front seat, and I saw it was a driverless car. There was nobody driving it. I could just see this white foam stuff everywhere. So I thought, I'll try to get out of my seat and get into the front seat of the car, and regain control of it. So somehow I got myself free, and I was able to climb into the front seat. I was in the front passenger seat of the car. I mean, in Australia, the driver drives on the right hand side of the car, not like in America where it's left hand drive. This was like an Australian car, which is right hand drive. So the steering wheel was on the right hand side of the car, and I was in the passenger seat on the left hand side of the car. And I was looking around the dashboard to try and see what was going on. It looked like a fairly modern instrument panel, and I actually remember reaching it over onto the dashboard and running my hand across the dashboard in the passenger side, and looking, and I noticed there wasn't a navigation system, because in my car I have a Toyota Corolla, a fairly new one, and it's got one of those computerized displays. It's got a navigation system in the car with a map and stuff on it, and you can use that navigation system, because I was thinking, where am I going, and how am I going to get back from where I'm going? I need some sort of navigation system, and it wasn't there. It wasn't my car. I wasn't in my own car. There was no navigation system sticking out of the dashboard like it does in my car. Then I looked across to the driver's side, and I could see an instrument panel and a steering wheel, and I thought, how am I going to regain control of this damn thing, And for some reason, I just thought, fairly abstractly, I'll just start pressing buttons and things and see what happens, if I can get it to sort of stop going, and regain control of it. So for whatever reason, I reached up and just pressed the light button on the interior light so I could see what was going on. That just seemed like the next thing to do, light, So I pressed the light button on the interior light thing, and then the lights came on. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll climb into the driver's seat and try the brake pedal, So I climbed into the driver's seat and then started applying the brake pedal. And then I grabbed the wheel and started sort of trying to see if I could move that. And then at some point the vehicle did start to slow down, and it seemed as though I had gained control of it. So I thought, wow, okay. I thought I better not go too hard on these brakes, I'm going to come screeching, careening off the road, and can't really tell where I'm going and where I am and stuff like that, I'll just pull over, sort of thing. So I remember applying brakes, getting control of the car, being able to slow down and sort of pull off the road a bit. And then I noticed there was a little turn off, something like that, a little turn off road. So I just went off this little turn off road, and it kind of U-turned around, and then I came to a stop. I thought, oh, great. And that's when I thought, okay, navigation, where am I and how am I going to get back? And I thought, do I have my mobile phone on me, because it's got Google Maps, and I could use that as a navigation system. And then at that point, it seemed to change again. Something changed about the vehicle. It no longer seemed like it was a car like a sedan. It was more like seemed more like a minibus or something like that. And the door opened, and I sort of kind of fell out of it in some ways. But there were people behind me that got out after me. There were other people in this vehicle that I was in, and they got out after me. I sort of spilled out, and then they got out after me. And I looked around, and I saw there was a woman, and she had like one of those official passes around her neck. You know, like you might see a visitor pass, or I don't know, a security guard's ID thing, something like that, or whatever. She was fairly sort of formally dressed lady, and or maybe even like a tour guide or something like that. She might have been, but she seemed friendly and smiling and stuff, you know. And she was a person I was able to hear what she was saying, and she said something about medals. Did they give you medals or something like that? I thought that was a bit of an abstract thing to say. I'm not sure why she was saying that. And then I looked ahead of me at the scene, you know, that was kind of in front of us, and we were in front of some sort of a building, and it was like the headquarters of a secret service office, basically. Wow, you know, what am I doing here? You know, so then basically at that point I awoke from the dream, you know. But it was an extremely vivid dream. I've never had a dream like that where I've felt a sense of really living that experience. Dreams can be vague and weird, but this felt really like I was living the experience. And it reminded me of another rapture dream story that or rapture dream explanation that I'd seen on a YouTube video, where a gentleman and his son shared a rapture dream, and they said that they were in some sort of chariot, and like they saw things moving like in Star Wars, you know, when the spaceships travel through the space in hyperspace, you see all the stars come flying at you, sort of thing. I didn't see that, but when I thought back about the dream, I thought, okay, the themes are there, you know. This suddenly being somewhere, taken somewhere, almost like you're being abducted, and then traveling extremely fast, and you're not in control of it, sort of thing. So they had those parallels, you know. And like I said before, you know, that when I was in the vehicle, the white foam around me, at the end of by the end of the dream, it seemed as though the white foam wasn't white foam, it was other people, in it maybe a spiritual sense or a spiritual form that were around me. And that's one way I could interpret it, you know, that it wasn't actually white foam, it was other people in a spiritual form also travelling with me in this vehicle, and they were the people that got out of the vehicle at the end with me. Yeah, so I thought I'd share that with you. You know, I know we're in extremely interesting and dangerous times at the moment. You know, I was just watching something this morning about the build-up, you know, between Russia and the Ukraine, and a recent meeting between Putin, the president of Russia, and Xi Jinping, I think it is, the president of China, and they're really looking like they're planning World War III. I mean, let's hope and pray it doesn't happen for those people that, you know, are still haven't been saved, you know, haven't found Christ. But it particularly doesn't look good, you know. It's a potential third world war starting. Already horrible things have happened this year, you know, with the volcano that erupted in Tonga. I saw a prophecy channel recently, before that happened. This lady prophesied that there would be volcanic eruptions and things, and sure enough, it did happen. Disastrous in Tonga. So and people are talking about that from the middle of this year onwards is going to be really bad. So let's wait and see. But God's got a plan for us, and He's going to take care of His own. So God bless. See you around.